Hello again. Welcome back to the Kotu Classic FPL podcast. I'm your host, Solomon. And I have my co-host here with me, Chama. It's a new
Well,
season, man.
yeah, it's almost time. One more day
we
to
go
go. Just one more
we
day
go
to go.
again. We
We
go
go
again.
again. Yeah. That's the thing. We go again. Exactly.
Yeah. I
So
know.
we have less than like 48 hours now to start. So let's say 20
Yeah.
like about 36 hours or something, and the game is
Before
on.
we start out, let me ask you, how sure are you with your team, percentage wise?
I'm comfortable, but I'm not ready. This is what I would
Okay.
say.
Still
Yeah,
have a
I'm
few games
comfortable.
left now.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind forgetting about my team till after deadline. I wouldn't mind, but I think there is still room for changes because there is still information to have. Like they say, like the press conferences of the managers will,
Oh
you
yeah.
can pick up a thing or two there. So maybe that will help. Maybe that will make change my mind. And also there are some things I'm not sure on, but we will get there if we get to our teams, discussing our teams. Then maybe you can change my mind on things.
Okay, so
How
this
sure
is
are
the
you?
Man, I'm not. The thing is, I don't think I spent so much time. I think it's the best that I can do. I don't want to change it anymore. Maybe somebody just influenced my mind and I change and then it's a mess. So I want to keep it that way. If there's going to be any changes, maybe one or two. That's all.
Wow,
So about as tempted as I can be. So yeah, that's the goal.
that's the
So
goal.
we're going to talk about the this is the first episode of the season, Game 1 preview. Um, we'll talk about our mini league that we have, the Kotu Classic mini league, and how to join and the prices in a moment. We'll talk about the season predictions. Maybe it's like a prediction league according to FML, FPL. So
Uh-huh.
we'll talk about what we think will go down during the course of the season, both of us personally, and maybe the winners, top goal scorers, as such. And then we'll talk about Game 1 chat, which is the main thing, our teams, what we think about some of these players, the strategies, even though they're early, because it's a World Cup in
The
December,
World
and we
Cup
have three
season, yeah.
wildcards. So we're going to see how we're going to implement the first few game weeks. And then talk of fixtures and matches of the week. So first things first, Kotu Classic Mini League Chama.
Yep, let's get into it. So yeah, this is the Kodu Classic Mini League, and the league code is NL757FG3. That is the mini league code. So if you want to join the Kodu Classic Mini League, you are feel free to join the Kodu Classic Mini League. However, we have some conditions, and we have a few terms for the league. And I would like to share that the game, like up to game week 3, that's when the league will close. After by the start of game week 4, basically no one can join the league. The league will be closed, so the code will be invalid at that point. And this is a free league, like I say. It's an open league which is supported by pledges made by the Kodu Classic family. We have Kodu Classic WhatsApp group here and there, and we have other people outside the Kodu Classic who also try to support our league. So there is no fee to join the league. It's free to enter, and the winner will go back home with an authentic football jersey. It's either their team jersey or any jersey that of their choice. If you win, you can decide which jersey you want to own. And you also have apparel from the Kotu Classic. And the first runner-up of the league gets a pair of football boots plus apparels. Second runner-up gets a proper football with apparels. So basically, that is the Kotu Classic Mini League prices. So it's a very competitive league. I think now we hit more than 150 members of the league. So feel free to join and come and compete with us. It's just for fun, guys. So yeah, no pressure.
Very
Bruce.
competitive. And I think we've been realizing that with every year since we've started, it gets more and more competitive to get in that top 10.
It
But I
becomes hard,
mean,
yeah.
it's no worries for Chama. Go to Classic Chama last season. I think from Game 1, you were leading the league the whole the whole time.
I think game week two, I started leading. I think,
Which has
yeah.
never happened before. So hopefully this time around it's more competitive. At least we see some, leading up to some games, and then somebody drops off, somebody takes over. There's
Yeah.
some movement. Yeah.
Yeah, I see some. I
Hey
see some
guys.
top FPL managers coming into our league, and yeah,
Oh,
I
that's
will.
nice.
It is gonna get more competitive. I can assure you that it's gonna be
That is what
very
we
very
want. Yeah,
competitive this
because
year.
it challenges you to do well as
Yeah,
well
yeah,
to try to
exactly,
be on top of your game. Yeah, so
absolutely.
that's good. That's really good. So moving on, let's go to season predictions. This is the fun stuff. I think Chama will take in turns to ask questions. So first things first, first prediction:
Uh-huh.
champion, top four, and the bottom three. Um, what are your thoughts on this?
uh, you know, I have the head and I have the heart here for me, but it seems that my head and my heart are kind of converging into the same thing. I think for the champion, I'm quite optimistic about about Liverpool's chances for the league. I don't want to jinx it, but
Uh,
I am quite optimistic, and that is because I feel Manchester City have, like, of course they signed one of the best strikers in the world in Haaland, but I feel as a squad, as a team, they kind of regress compared to last season. And Liverpool, on the other hand, I would say Man is a big loss too for them. But we all watched the game against Manchester City last week. Darwin, it seems like he could be a very important player for Liverpool this season. Salah, complete, like he was already on another level, or the level he was at last season. In terms of squad wise, I think Liverpool are still where they are, but Manchester City are quite, they kind of drop a little bit, and they have a few injuries. So for the champions, I will go with Manchester City. What's your thought there? Well, Liverpool, sorry.
um, I don't know, man. I kind of feel like there's a gap between uh, Man City, Liverpool. Those are the top two.
Yeah,
Then you have the rest. You understand? You have the other, maybe another three or four teams, and then you have the rest. So
yeah,
it's either between Man City and Liverpool. But the problem is Man City always start a bit slow. I don't
yeah,
know why. They start a bit slow, maybe draw a few games there, lose one or two, and then they pick up. Once they pick up, that's the problem. There's no stopping them.
yeah.
And I
That's
think
the thing.
with Haaland coming in, they haven't had like a proper number nine, playing
In
with
a
a
long
proper
time.
number nine in a while. So it's going to take them a bit of a few games to get in the groove to maybe understand the way that they play with the striker.
Yeah.
It's easy for them to play with that what's his name again? The new guy, Alvarez,
Alvarez, yeah. His
because he's
movement
more of
is,
an
yeah,
attacker than a proper number nine. So they
yeah.
might have more chances with him playing, but I think with Haaland it might take a while.
To adjust, yeah.
But
Uh-huh.
yeah, I still back them to win the league. Even though
Uh-huh.
if they win it this time, it's going to be three times in a row, right? Which I don't want
Yeah.
them to do.
Yeah.
but as a Man U fan, but I don't think we have a choice. They might win the league. Liverpool can if they stay close enough. That's the thing. Like you don't need to be the best team, like you said last season, which is true. You need to be the best team, but you need to make sure that you win the games you're supposed to win. So
Yeah.
when you play Man City, at least if you have a draw, both home and away, because they do lose games and they drop points.
Yeah. And if they are gonna
So
lose a game, if they're gonna lose a game, I think Liverpool is have a strong bet to winning against them. Just we saw in the
yeah, because yeah, you
community.
guys know how they play
Yeah.
now. You guys understand them like very well now because the last
Yeah.
few games that you played since last season, it's been either draw or you guys win. So
Yeah. Yeah.
now yeah, it's
And
even.
it's
I can
and it's not gonna be a normal season. There's gonna be an interruption in between. And usually
that
they
is
say
the thing. Yeah,
Liverpool kind
that's
of
going to
win the
be
league when there is an interruption in between. Because
that's
that's the only time we can win it. That's what they say.
that's going to be the important the interesting bit.
Yeah.
And what about the bottom three? To be honest, I don't really think about the bottom three because honestly, I don't have
Now before
any.
we come to the top four, who do you back to be in the top four? Liverpool, Man City, we all agree that they
You
will
know,
be in the
I
top
was
two.
I was
So
I
who's gonna be the
was
third and fourth?
I was trying to skip this part because I don't see my team doing well. That's why that's why I was trying to. You caught me right in the middle. As much as I would like to have my team competing for top four, I
Yeah.
think we still have a lot of work to do. So I think it's going to be Man City,
Uh-huh.
Liverpool. No surprises there.
Yeah.
I think the next surprise is going to be Tottenham,
Yeah.
third, and then fourth. I'm going to go with Arsenal.
Yeah. I will go with Chelsea instead of Arsenal. I think Arsenal, they have done exceptionally well.
But you don't think they'll make it?
But I still think Chelsea are just too strong. And Tottenham, like, eh, they did very well in the transfer market, and they are a top side. Conte is a top manager. He completely transformed that team. So, like you said, they are the surprise team. So, I'm backing them to be the third best team in the league. So, it's gonna be who's gonna finish fourth. And with experience Chelsea have, I just think they're gonna edge it over Arsenal. Arsenal are still
Again,
inexperienced, but I want them to do it though because I like their team.
their team, yeah. I think Chelsea this time around might have a bit of a mixed season, in my opinion. You know, they might find it difficult. That's what I'm thinking. So because they're trying to transfer players in, players are not coming, their targets are not, coming like they're supposed to. They have some players leaving. I don't know. There's a lot of uncertainty in the team right now.
Yeah,
You don't want to start. You don't want to start the season that way. You know, you need to be ready.
Yeah, definitely. But usually Chelsea, they are this very awkward team where you will not expect them to do something, and out of nowhere, they will cause a lot of problems.
I know.
They are always causing problems. This team, Chelsea.
That's true. And the bottom three.
The bottom three, I would say a couple of teams that came up. That is Fulham and Bournemouth. I think these two will go back down. It will be very hard for them to stay, even though they have been doing well, especially Fulham in the transfer market. They have brought in Pereira. They brought in the goalkeeper Leno from Arsenal, and they are looking to bring in what's his name again? Phillips from Liverpool. He's a defender, centre back. So they are doing pretty well in the transfer market, and they were the champions last season in the championship. But I just think the Premier League is a different gravy for them. It's just too hard. And Bournemouth, because they have not been active in the transfer market, I don't see them staying up. Nottingham Forest is the team, even though they finished like in the playoff spot and I think they finished 6th in the championship and then they came up. They look like the team that could stay in the Premier League because they are more defensively astute than the other two teams that I mentioned.
That's very important, yeah.
Yeah, especially these smaller teams, you need to be very good defensively if you want to survive in the Premier League. Just like Brentford did last season, they focus on their defense at the start of the season, and it served them very well. So those two teams and one of the teams that were in the league last season. And if I want to go with one, Southampton is the team I am kind of contemplating on, but I really like their manager. He's one of the top managers in the Premier League. So I would not be surprised if they finish top 10, but I would not be surprised too if they go because their team too have not changed a lot. They have some few good signings, but generally I don't see massive changes in the team in terms of like the caliber of players that they sign. So Southampton will be my third team to go down for me. How about you?
I think that the two that you mentioned, Fulham, because I feel like Fulham, there's something about Fulham. They don't really it's like the same team that get promoted and then they go back down. There's something missing. Either they don't have the caliber of players that they need or the experience that they need to stay in the Premier League. But I feel like they're going to go down again. And Bournemouth, like you said, I don't really know much about them this time around. I don't know whether they've changed their players, whether they still have the same players before they went down. But yeah, I kind of feel like they might. The third one I'm really thinking about right now is Everton. they came really close last time.
They came close.
I don't see them making as much changes to the team as like really, really like, okay, you know what? We were close last season. We need to really make a change. They've signed, the only player that I heard them sign, I might be wrong, but this is one I know about, is this guy from Burnley. What's his name again? The winger. McNeil.
Yeah.
McNeil. I like him a lot. He's a very dynamic player, very direct. And I think he used to be a Manchester United youth player. So
yeah, definitely.
He's the only player, and they lost Richarlison. Richarlison has gone.
Yeah, that's a massive loss. And Calvert-Lewin is now out for the first few games.
Injured, so how do you start the season like that, losing two of your top players, and it's going to be massive. It's going to be a challenge for Lampard to do.
To keep them, yeah. But I think they are on the verge of signing, what's his name, Ghana Gay, the Senegalese player who was very good for them. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He was very good for them. So if they have him in that middle, I think he will really change a lot in their team. So, but yeah, I see your point in Everton because last season they were poor. If they follow in that, that vein, I think they could be in trouble. I agree.
Yeah. And so your top FPL point scorers?
I think this is a boring one, but I cannot look beyond Salah, to be honest, because he's a midfielder in the game. He plays as an attacker. He dominates the goals. He is the leading. He usually finishes as leading goal scorer in the league. So if that's the case, then it's gotta be him. But if I want to go left field, I will also go another Liverpool player. I will go Trent. I will go left field and go Trent will outscore Salah because he
All about
seems like a
Liverpool.
player who is scoring goals this season. He's going,
I
yeah,
think
he
I
looks like
think.
a player on like if he can score at 5 or 6 goals into his game, you add that those number of assists which he will win the assist king or something
Yeah,
like
he
that,
might be a top
and
contender.
then all of a sudden he could be a contender for top. Yeah. How about you? Who will you go for?
I'm gonna go take a wild guess and say Haaland.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Erling Haaland, because Man City we already know that they score a lot of points. That's number one.
Yeah.
And if they have somebody who is a proven goal scorer, it just needs them to take them a bit of time for that player, like I'm saying, like Haaland, for him to find his feet and understand how the league works.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, they'll be supplying him all the goals, like all the creative players just be finding him in the box and then give him all the points. But it might work, it might not work. It might take a bit of time, it might be a bit of patience, but then I feel like he might be one of those players. Another one I'm really also backing is Harry Kane. Obviously, Salah. I feel Salah is like standard. You know, we all know that he's going to be one of the top guys.
Yeah.
But these two players, Kane and I think and Haaland, might be competing him for the top scorers in the game this season.
In the FPL, I would say for goals, for leading goal scorer, I would say those two, Harry Kane and Haaland, they have a case. But for FPL points, because of the way the game works,
the way the game is, a defender.
Yeah, it's very hard for a striker to have the leading goal scorer, even though they are the most expensive players. Yeah, I just read an article from Fantasy Football Scout. I recommend that you read that article very well, where they discuss about value. They try to find the value of players from goalkeeper defenders to attackers, and then what they found from that study was that the most valuable players usually are from defense and midfielders and then goalkeeper. Defense. Strikers, they are always like overvalued. Like I think we always say that, but they are really overvalued. Like their value is always negative, so they are overpriced. In other words, so yeah, they don't score a lot of points to warrant the number of price they put.
Yeah, the funds that that is tied down in them. That is true. I think so too. But it's nice to see that your striker is scoring goals, but then if you
that's the thing.
Goals they score, compared to a midfielder scoring those amount of goals, it's not the same.
It's not exactly. That is the excitement, because if a player scores for you, you get like a boost of an excitement at that point in time. But if you are there waiting for a player to get a clean sheet and it is 89th minute, any goal can wipe out your clean sheet. You are very nervous, so that points you cannot enjoy them as much as you will enjoy the points that is a goal or something like that. Yeah.
Speaking of this might change my mind and make me go drastic. Just because we are talking about this, it brings in mind two key players, Son and Kane. Son is 12 million, Kane is 11.5. Yeah. If you can afford to switch and just have Gabriel Jesus in front and another maybe bench for that striker, you can go Son in the midfield, and that can be a key change in your FPL team this season.
Absolutely. The only reason why people are not doing that, I will guess, is because the
switching. Yeah.
The prospect of having Haaland in game week 2.
Yeah, exactly.
Because nobody wanna give away that like even though you either have Haaland from game week 1 or you wait and see what happens in game week 1.
What happens,
and then game week 2 you attack Haaland because they play Bournemouth at home. So we will expect everybody is expecting Haaland to score like bucket full of goals in that game. So that's why everybody is kind of skeptical. So if you go Son, then you block yourself from going for, you cannot move to Haaland. So that's why manager. Yeah, actually when I went with 2 premiums, that was the reason why I went with Salah and one striker, because I don't want to go with 2 midfielders. In that way, I am blocking myself to get like the premium strikers. So yeah.
Okay. Player of the season.
Player of the season. I don't want to be too biased on these things, but because I am backing Liverpool to win the league, so I will back a Liverpool player. It's boring, This is so boring because I'm going. But you go first. You go first with the player of the season then.
Player of the season. I'm thinking. Let me try to be like to think out of the box here.
Yeah.
If I'm backing Tottenham to really do well, like I'm thinking player of the season might be Harry Kane for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, he can have a massive season.
I can have a second option. I can say Raheem Sterling. I feel like sorry, Gabriel Jesus.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, mixing them
choice.
up. Yeah, Gabriel is a good shout. Yeah.
My first choice is Kane.
Mm-hmm.
Second is Gabriel Jesus. I
Yeah.
can even have a third. I can even have a third, but put Raheem Sterling there. But yeah, you go ahead.
Yeah, but yeah. For me, I I can make it look nice. I will be biased and make it look nice. It's gonna be Salah because he is one of those players who's not going to the World Cup. He has that whole month to prepare for the second. Last season, if you remember well, he went to the African Cup of Nations and came back a little bit tired. He was not as good in the first half of the season as he was, or he was not as good in the second half of the season as he was in the first half of the season. Mm-hmm. And because of the number of games we played, but also there was the contract talk and all those kind of things. They all kind of affected because a lot going on him. But this time he will play the first half of the season, give his all, and then have a whole month rest, and then come back in the second half of the season. It's gotta be him. It's him or Haaland. These are the two players who are not going to the World Cup.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so I'm going Salah. I'm going Salah to get the player of the season.
I think you might have a very good point there. Yeah. Top goal scorer. Is it Salah?
Okay, I will go Harry Kane. This one. I will go Harry Kane. Yeah, even though Harry Kane he can have the leading goal scorer, but not necessarily have the top FPL point scorer. Like I said, I'm going Kane.
I think I'll go Haaland for this one.
Haaland, okay.
Yeah, I'll go Haaland.
Nice. Breakout
player of the season.
You go first.
Yeah, this one is a tough one. This one is a tough one. Breakout player. I would say West Ham's new striker, Scamacca.
Yeah, he could be a huge player. But for me, okay, explain before I
think people that play fantasy, what do you call it again? Football Manager. I think they have been raving about this guy for the longest time. That he's one of those those players that they scout and then they come to. It's like their name is in the scout, and when you have them in Football Manager, they do well and they kind of improve and become world class. This is one of those players. Wow. So he has a lot of expectations on his head. So I think it's good. I've not watched him play before, but I've had the chatter that he's one to watch out for. So I'm thinking, West Ham did well last season. I'm thinking that they will do like better this season than last season. Also, might improve. I think he might be key in their season. So breakout player for
me. Yeah. For me, I would like to go with the breakout player. I would like to go with the young players that are coming up in the league. Of course, you can go with the new players coming. So one player who did not have the best, like he had a decent season last season, and you could see the signs that he was a very good player. Mm-hmm. But he did not, like the player I'm talking about is Olise. Michael Olise at Crystal Palace.
He's an exciting player.
He's a very, very exciting player. In terms of expected, like big chances created per 90 last season, he was number one. Like in terms of chance creation, he had the best rate of chance creation, even better than Kevin De Bruyne, the king, and Trent. Of course, they are the players who usually create. But per 90, if you compare Elise's number and those players, he was much better than them. Okay. And he was not a regular in the Palace team. This season, he's kind of injured for preseason, so he's not going to have the start that you would expect. But as the season progresses, this is one player that I could see becoming a very, very, very good player. And he could be like important in our FPL teams because he's just 5.5 million. Palace, they have a tough start of the season, but as the season progresses, they have a very good run. So maybe Olise will be back during that period. And I'm kind of backing him to do the like Gallagher, like last season Gallagher was the one who who got all the attention at Crystal Palace when he went on loan from Chelsea. So I'm backing Olise to have a much better season this season.
Okay, this has nothing to do with our predictions, but I was just this morning when I was woke up, there was this maybe what do you call it again? Transfer rumor
Yeah.
that what's his name again? This guy from Chelsea, what's the winger?
Kukarel.
The winger.
ZH.
ZH might be going to, okay, we are looking at him, might be going to Man U. If he goes, do you think that will be like a really good player to have in that team? And in terms of FPL, because we know like the expectations we had when he came to Chelsea, like we were, oh man, ZH is going to like assist, give all the assists, but he didn't really
live up to expectations.
Yeah, live up to expectations, exactly. You know, so and this is going to be the coach that actually, you know, gave him his form and everything. So what do you think about that?
Yeah, he's an exciting player. To be honest, I was expecting much more from him at Chelsea.
Exactly.
But I think the coach did not help. The change of managers, the style of play and things like that did not help, because he had a very good start, very promising start when he was creating some top chances for Chelsea, and they were scoring. And then Lampard got sacked. Then Tuchel came in. The play changed. They started playing 3-5-2. So he did not have any like perfect position in that formation. So that kind of, he's still a top player in my opinion. Yeah. So going to Man United, it will be interesting, because that is the role that you will expect Sancho to occupy, where he would like to play. Unless Sancho moves to the other side, play on the left, and then Ziyech play on the right. So that will be a little bit of a concern, because Sancho, Man United, they paid a lot of money for him. So they would expect him to thrive, I would say. So the only concern, if he plays, he can be a very good player, but I cannot see in the world where Sancho and him competing, and then Ziyech getting the nod over Sancho.
Yeah, but the good thing is Sancho can play either wing.
Yeah.
Last season, like, he played in the left, but even though I think he prefers playing on the right.
Yeah.
But when it comes to output, I think his best output is on the left. The only person that I feel might lose out is Rashford. So it's good to have a bit of competition in the team. And you have if you have competition in the team, it kind of pressure makes diamonds. Bring out the best in our wingers. So yeah, anyways, let's forget about that. I was just getting excited here.
Yeah.
So finally, we're done with the season predictions for this upcoming season. And to get to the heart of this episode today, the game week 1 chat. Game week 1, we start again. Yes. So the first thing is to look at the fixtures for the first game week. I think the early kickoff, we have Crystal Palace, Arsenal. Last season we had the same Arsenal kickoff, right?
Brentford. It was a great start to the season, right? A promoted team beating Arsenal.
It was nice to laugh at Arsenal, but I mean, yeah, it's not fun when being an Arsenal fan. Then I hope, and I know for a fact that they'll do better this time around, because they seem
they're excited, right? They're looking at a very exciting team.
Yeah, under their belt, so they should be ready to go.
Yeah.
On Friday we have Fulham, Liverpool, Bournemouth, Aston Villa, Leeds, Wolves, Newcastle, Nottingham Forest, Spurs, Southampton, Everton, Chelsea, and then Saturday we have Leicester, Brentford, Man U, Brighton, West Ham, Man City.
Yeah, the timing is very.
The timing is off, right?
It's not even Japan time. I don't know what my laptop was doing, but yeah, let's just look at the pictures and forget the times for a moment.
Okay. I see, no problem. Yeah. Okay, so let's look at the matches. Which matches do you think might be ones to look at for this week, like the matches in terms of FPL points, and maybe let's say overall in general, which ones do you think might be exciting for you?
Yeah, for me, number one fixture that I look out for is Spurs against Southampton. Even though Spurs last season they did not do well against Southampton, they lost one game and then drew one. They lost at home to Southampton. In this particular fixture last season, they lost it 1-0. So that is a bit of a worry, but still, I see that as a very good fixture for Spurs, because Southampton, They are known to be that team that don't sit back. They will go high on you. They will play high line because of the type of manager they have. That's why sometimes you can see them lost 9-0 and you can see them win
Yeah,
another
because
team
they
3-0
don't defend. They
because
just
of
want
the
to go
because
out
of
and
the way they
attack.
play.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
on their day, they will be very hard to beat. But I think Spurs have better quality. So I'm backing Spurs in that fixture. So that is the fixture that really I am targeting for FPL points. That is where you can have a very, very strong start in your FPL season. This is my opinion, and you will see that when you come to my team. What is the fixture you are looking out for?
This is gonna be an interesting one. Interesting one. The Fulham Liverpool game. We all know. I think we'll talk about this later in the captaincy metric sticker.
Yeah.
Because I think we also have a segment where you talk about like the studies that we've had, home fixtures against away fixtures, and how
Yeah.
well assets have fared in those two. But the thing is, it's an away game, but it's Fulham. We all know
Yeah.
Fulham are not the best, and we've spoken about them. And
Yeah.
even though Liverpool is playing away, I think this is a potential match where Liverpool assets can really thrive and do well.
Yeah.
So this is the one I'm really looking forward to see, because if they want to get fast start, they can just go and beat Fulham like 5-0, and then next thing you know, they're top of the league, and then they be the ones that are being chased all around. So yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
other
How about
games I
uh-huh.
think other
Go
games
ahead.
that look like, in terms of maybe football wise, being a football fan, Everton Chelsea is the top one, and West Ham Man City. This might be a tough game, a tough start for Man City. I think this is the reason why most people are kind of having
Skeptical, yeah.
Kane over Haaland. Yeah, this is the reason, because West Ham is not a small club anymore that you can go and beat like 4-5. But it's Man City anyways. But it might be a tougher game that they think. So yeah. What other games comes to mind?
Yeah, I think you nailed it. The West Ham Man City game is gonna be very interesting. I am hoping I am not so optimistic about Man City's prospect of winning that game. Hence why my team, I am not heavy on Manchester City yet, but after that their fixtures are very, very good. But that is the fixture that I think is gonna be the toughest one. It's gonna be the most interesting one to watch. But also Newcastle, it will be an interesting one against Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest, like I said, they are the best defensive team coming up from the championship. And Newcastle, we know they are trying to be the next superpower in English football. So that will be an interesting one. I want to see how Nottingham Forest frustrate Newcastle in that game. It should be very interesting. I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a bit let down with Newcastle. I was thinking, they should spend the Arab money buying, all these kind of expensive players and giving them ridiculous contracts. But I haven't heard them sign any big name or anything. This seems like
Yeah, it does.
this.
Yeah, it doesn't work that way though. But because of FIFA fair play stuff like that, they kind of be the unfortunate team to have money at the wrong time. So they cannot just come.
Oh, okay.
They have to balance up their books and
I
decide that.
see. I see. What you mean.
So
Okay, I see.
yeah. So but they are considering some huge signing. I think they bid 50 or 60 million for Madison at
Yeah,
Leicester City.
I think I heard about that.
So that one could go. That one could be on. I heard them. They were also interested in Barnes. So it's either Barnes or Madison, maybe. So those players, maybe, yeah. But they are not gonna, spend willy
Get
nilly,
like a big name, like maybe a Neymar or something.
Yeah. That would be hard for them to do. Yeah.
That would be interesting. I would like that. I'll support them. I like spending money. It's like you playing FIFA manager mode. You just sign players and on that would be nice.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the captaincy matrix sticker for game week 1, the CMT for this
Yeah.
week. Yeah. So I think we'll talk about the first 3 games. It's like I said before, last episode. You can find this on our page, the Twitter page. I think it's there. I think for the whole season. In
Yeah.
fact, you can
The whole
also
season.
customize it to depending on maybe the way you classify your teams as best to worst. So yeah, first game. I mean, game week 1. We have about 6 choices. First game we have Kane, Son, Tottenham against Southampton. Second game, Salah, Fulham against Liverpool. Third game, Cristiano or Bruno against Brighton. Fourth game is Vardy, Leicester against Brentford. And then fifth is Wilson. Newcastle versus Nottingham Forest, and then 6th is Everton Chelsea. So yeah, does this nail it for you, or do you think there might be a slight tweak in choice for you?
For me, I think I have the best case scenario, which is a top team playing against one of the worst defensive teams in the league. So that kind of nailed it for me. I know Salah is very enticing, and if you compare the home versus away fixtures, you will see that Salah doesn't care where he plays, especially last
Yeah,
season.
home and away. Yeah, we'll
Yeah,
talk about that. Yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
and then you have Ronaldo and Bruno. Of course, Ronaldo is not a factor, but no one is talking about Bruno. He was the player who scored a hat trick last season, the first game of the season. We should not forget that. We are sleeping
For
on him,
for
and
for a caveat, to give people context, the reason they're
Mhm.
not talking about him is people are basing the game week 1 on preseason form, and
Yeah.
Bruno, to be honest, hasn't been on form in preseason
No,
because of the new manager. The way he plays more of a passing
but the game,
game.
yeah, but the game was launched before
You
preseason, right? Did you ever contemplate putting Bruno in your team before seeing him in preseason? Nobody did, to be honest,
know,
especially Manchester United players, because of the last season. Of course, preseason has a factor, but also last season have a factor. Because if you look at Rashford and Marshall, people have seen them in preseason, so they are starting to get into people's team here and there. Dalot
yeah,
likewise, he's starting to get into team. Sancho likewise, but Bruno, like I agree that preseason has a factor, but we are not really paying any attention to it. And he has a very good record against Brighton, by the way. Very good record
Brighton
against
is a
Brighton.
the funny thing is Brighton is a tough game for Manchester United,
I
because
I I, I
they
agree.
beat us last. They're very well organized, even though they might have a few players that like Cucurella might be leaving, and you said they have a few injuries here and there. But Brighton is a very organized team, and I'm sure that we have improved since last season, obviously, Manchester United. But the thing is, it's not as easy of a game as people think it is. I won't be surprised if we either draw this game or lose. Anything is possible, but yeah, it's a tough game for us, honestly.
Yeah, I agree. So, but the decision is rest on Salah, Son, or Kane. I think that is the. I
I
think
think that's it. I think that's the three.
every FPL manager and their dogs and their cats will captain Son
I'm going with this too.
with these three. So, what is your take on that?
I think they're right. I think everybody is right for. I think FPL has come a long way. That everybody is so dialed in to all these things that I think the top options are Kane and Salah. I think
Yeah.
mostly Kane. Most people have Kane captain or something like that. Yes.
Yeah, because of, like I said, the point I raised, that was like Kane, because of the route to Haaland. Son
Yeah.
give you a route to somebody else, like Kevin De Bruyne. But people would rather have Haaland than Kevin De Bruyne, even though that might not be the wisest thing to do, because KDB is still a top player and he's gonna start, and
Definitely.
he can cause. But because of Haaland is that new toy, everybody wanna play with it, right? Everybody wanna play with Haaland, especially when he.
Like I've said, this is a striker, so it's good to be enticed by goals. Oh yeah, even though we know most points come from midfielders and defenders, but we like having an expensive striker up in our team.
Exactly,
You know
like
what I mean? No,
Rolls
yeah,
Royce.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, so that's I think that's what the ticker says for this week. So
So
play
who are you
safe.
back? Who are you backing? But yeah,
I'm backing Kane.
yeah,
Yeah,
backing
even
Kane
though Salah looks really, because against Fulham he looks really good, man. Honestly, I
against
won't be
Man City.
surprised
Yeah,
if I just play a safe one and just go with Salah. But right now, my captaincy, the first team is on Kane.
yeah, definitely. No, to be honest, I understand why people are captaining Salah. He's just the best player in the game, and he proves that every single season. And even if you look at his numbers, the points he's averaging away from home is comparable to all these players like Kane and Son. The points they are averaging at home is comparable. So Salah's away form is comparable to any player in the league. That is what I'm saying. So you should not. Of course, I try to follow a system, like this is what the captaincy ticker say, and I have this set, so I just follow it without giving myself a stress. And that was the point for creating the captaincy metric stickers, to make life easy for myself, and then to have the decision easy without, like, if I did not have this, maybe I would be thinking, should I captain Salah? Should I captain Son or Kane? I would have been thinking about that. But now that I have it, it has
Yeah, you
kind
don't
of
really
made
think
me,
about it. Yeah, you know that
it
it's a
has kind
solid
of made my
choice.
decision
Yeah,
for me. Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. That's why
Because
I can live with it. I can live with
If
it.
thank you, you can live with it. If you didn't have this, you're gonna say, "Ah, man, I missed it. I should have gone with this person." But then, if your ticker says this is what it says, and you
Eh,
go with it, okay, you know what? It's just maybe something, or you're just unlucky. It happens to be the other one, but this is what the ticker says, and it's based on something that is logical.
eh,
Then
eh,
it makes it easy for you. A decision is well.
Ex-
That's it.
exactly, and I can,
Unlucky for me, but
spend more time thinking about my team than thinking about
thank you
who to
very much.
captain.
Yeah. And like I
Exactly,
said,
because
captaincy is not to be gambled upon. You don't need to gamble that. It's very important.
yeah,
Yeah.
and the thing is, if you start defying what it is saying, you're gonna do it regularly, like every other week.
Yeah,
Okay,
you're
maybe I
tempted to
can.
do. Yeah, you're
Yeah,
tempted to. Yeah.
so you have to be a little bit disciplined, and that's what I'm trying to do here. But yeah, I understand anyone who will captain Salah. To be honest, 100%. And like
Yeah.
I say, we are
Yeah.
talking about this one. What do you have? What do you have to say before I comment?
This is your department, man. This is stats, man. It's all numbers. It doesn't make any sense. I didn't have time to look at it. Oh, but there was one thing I wanted to bring to your attention, right?
Yeah,
I think I saw this online because usually I browse Twitter all the time, so I see
yeah,
some interesting things that people mention there. Even
yeah,
though I didn't have time to go through it and maybe verify, but
yeah,
they say that Salah's points is really derived from Mane being the creative hub of Liverpool. So
yeah.
do you think that's going to have a major effect in Salah's output this season?
Uh, what I can say is, it's a difficult one, right? Because the way Liverpool used to play, that was the Firmino, Salah, and Mane era. It was
Yeah.
all about Salah and Mane doing these diagonal runs and then Firmino
Mhm.
dropping deep. So in essence, Salah and Mane were our strikers, and Firmino was the one dropping. So what I can say is the strikers we have now, who are expected to start. But before I talk about Mane, Nunes is the one who's going to replace Mane, right? As a player, kind of, because Mane left and then Nunes came. So Nunes is more of a player who likes to be in those positions to get the big chances. Like when you see when he came on against Manchester City, he was always running behind. He had like 3 big chances. Liverpool had 4 big chances. Nunes came in the second half, had 3 big chances. So in the end, Salah had 1 big chance, and that was the penalty. So you can see that he's not having the big chance, the volume of big chances that he used to have, because other players are occupying the positions that he used to occupy. Usually Firmino will drop, but in terms of Mane directly affecting Salah, I don't see it too much because they play in different roles. And when Mane plays as the number 9, he also drops, like Firmino, because he was taught to do that. So he was not playing like a number 9, but he was playing like a number 10, 9.5 or something like that. Firmino the same way. But now the strikers, who's going to play in the middle? If it is Nunes, if it is Jota, they are always going to be running behind instead of dropping. So that kind of occupy that space for Salah. That is the
So
issue.
I'll continue, finish it.
Yeah, I mean that is the issue. But with Mane directly affecting it, I don't see it, especially when
You
he was
think
playing on the left. Yeah.
Okay. Another thing is, so do you think Nunes is going to start? Because before Nunes came in, it was uh, Luis, Diaz,
Uh-huh.
Luis Diaz, and Mane,
Mane.
maybe somewhere in the middle, and then you have
Yeah.
Salah,
And
right?
Salah.
Right.
Yeah. That was the
So now
preferred choice. Yeah.
is Diaz going to be still there, obviously,
Yeah.
and is Firmino going to come back as a starting, or is it going to be Nunes?
Yeah. With Nunes, and understanding how Liverpool operate, I would say he's not gonna be like just come in and then take that spot. Doesn't work like that at Liverpool. He's gonna be eased in, just like in the Community Shield. Everybody was saying, "Oh, should Nunes start?" But deep down me, I knew he was not gonna start. I knew Firmino was gonna start, and then he's gonna come in. So I see that being the trend. But still, with the way he played that game, even he's gonna give you 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes. I think he's still a good bet. But eventually, that is the plan. So before the end of the season, I can see him, if he settles well, I can see him getting the number 1 spot over Firmino. And Jota is there. Let's not forget Jota. Jota has
That's the thing. That's what was going to be
yeah,
my
he has
question. Like, how does he fit in? Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, but eventually I can see him being the number 1 choice. But for now, he's not safe.
Okay. So Jota, how does Jota fit into this whole team?
Yeah, Jota is another
he's also a very good player.
Yeah, he's another flexible player, because versatile player, because he can play on the left, he can play down the middle. So it's gonna be a rotation thing. So yeah, you need a squad. Anyways, you need a squad if you are competing on all fronts, and that is what Liverpool have. And it depends on who's on form, and at the time, it depends on club. It's hard, but it's a good headache to have as a manager, I would say.
It's a good headache to have, yeah, definitely. Okay, so go ahead and explain this season home versus away form for us.
Yeah, basically, the table here shows the premium players from last season. Like, we had 9 premiums last season. That was Salah, Mane, Son, KDB, Kane, Ronaldo, Fernandez, Sterling, and Vardy. These were the players that cost 10 million or more in FPL last season. So I compared their FPL points at home versus their FPL points away from home, and then their underlying performance, which usually is not like is how they perform rather than what they actually did. Understand? So you know the underlying numbers, yeah. So the expected points, like based on XG, XA, and expected clean sheet, and their expected away points. So those are the two metrics that I compare. The reason why I did this is to see how powerful the home fixture is. And if you look at this table, you can see on the blue side is like the players who outperform at home, and if you look at the red side, is the players who outperform away from home. So the redder it gets, the more the player is outperforming at home. And the bluer it gets, it means the player really perform more at home than he perform away from home. And looking at the FPL points at home, or at the FPL point for the premiums only, we can say that
most of them, yeah.
6 players out of the 9 players all did better at home. And out of these 6, 3 of them, they were averaging more than 2 points at home than they were averaging away from home. So basically, if Salah is scoring 7.8 points at home, or no, 8.38 points at home, he scored. No, Salah is not a good example. Mane was scoring 7.38 points per game at home, and away from home, he was scoring 3.94. You can see that difference from 7 to 3. The drop off. You look at another player, KDB, from 8.69 to 6.5. Another player, Ronaldo, 6.88 to 4.227. He was scoring away from home. So basically, players tend to do better at home than they do away from home. This is a kind of known fact. I think everybody kind of know that if I'm playing at home, I have home advantage. I will do better, like mentally. But here the data is showing us that is a real thing. But we don't pay too much attention to this when we're making our decisions in FPL. Sometimes we just look at the player, the name of the player, without looking at the players who are playing at home or who have the good fixtures playing at home. And basically, when we talk about the captaincy metric sticker, that is something that it takes very important. The team that is playing at home versus the team that is playing away from home. But like I say about Salah scored 8.38 points at home and then 8.64 points away from home. So Salah's away numbers was better than every single player in the league. So it will not be bad, except KDB, of course, 8.69. So it will not be a bad idea to captain Salah away from home or at home, because he does well almost similarly away from home than he do at home. So this data shows you that Salah can do well at home. He can do well away from home. But again,
player. Like he beats the home versus away type of thing. He doesn't matter where he plays.
Exactly, he does well similarly. The only player that was an outlier here was Kane. You can see he's the reddest one here.
Yeah, Kane did
so
well away.
He did more away from home than he did at home.
Yeah, but then if you look at his expected points though, it's like he's expected to have more points at home, but maybe it doesn't go his way. Maybe it's just
exactly. So you can understand that he's a good finisher. We all agree. We all can agree that Kane is a top finisher. So he had the chances at home, but he was not taking the chances. So
he was not taking them. Yeah,
he was unlucky. We can conclude that he was unlucky. Then he was not performing at home, you know. And also he had the distractions at the start of the season where he was, you know, mentally thinking about Manchester City. So if you remember well, in the first half of the season, Kane scored 2 goals. He scored in the first half.
Well, man, to be honest, if you look at it that way, he did.
And then the second half of the season, he changed. Of course, I'm sure if we took this data from the second half of the season only, you will see him doing much better at home than when he was much more settled than that. Yeah. And then you look at the underlying numbers. All the players they tend to do better at home. So why, if it is not Salah, I don't see the point of captaining any player away from home.
I'm sure looking at the captaincy metric sticker and what you're talking about captaincy and everything, I think it's a gamble to captain somebody who's not Salah away from home. You can only do it with Salah and be assured of this is okay. This is a good decision, to be honest. Yeah, so that was a good lesson for us to learn to maybe bolster our thoughts about captaining somebody at home. So I think it's always a good option to do that.
Yeah.
The early season strategies. Right now, I don't think I can think about any. For me, I'm just thinking, okay, get your team, watch what happens in the first few game weeks, and then you can start planning. Maybe you can tell me more about your own plans since, maybe you have something special that you're planning in the first few game weeks.
Now, my plan, I see the plan like what people are doing, like get your team, like then watch first or two games and then see, okay, what is the direction we should head to?
Exactly.
Yeah. For me, what I plan to do is I want to take an opportunity, right? I see that as an opportunity, personally. And the opportunity is most of you guys are gonna be, okay, let's play it safe, get the template team. I see that as an opportunity. And we are talking about Kane and Son, right? We are talking about Kane and Son. Yeah. Maybe I should go to Kane. Maybe I should go to Son because Son is the midfielder who I should captain. What if you get both of them and then you safeguard that, like,
that's
because my aim is just to have a good start. My aim is just to have a good start. Even if it means only one game week one is gonna be the good one, and I need to change my team after game week one, I don't mind doing it. Because this season is very young. It's very short. It's 16 games. It's 2 seasons in one. It's 2 seasons in one. Let's see it like that. Season 1 is game week 1 to game week 16. Season 2 is game week 17 to game week 30. Because after game week 16, the game starts again afresh.
Starts again, yeah. It starts again.
Definitely.
Then everything goes out the window. Everything else that happened before.
So why are we waiting? What are we waiting for? So that is my take. For me, I am gonna plan to maximize my points. If somebody give me a team that will the highest scoring point in game week 1, I would take that team. if I knew that team, I would pick that team for my team. I would not try to balance anything.
It worked well for you last season, exceptionally well. Like because you were, like I said, you were there early and you didn't relent. You just kept, making all the moves, and then it kept you in that position, and you never came down. I think I think we went through this a few seasons ago where I know what the good way of playing is, but doing it is a whole different thing altogether. Because like you're so used to playing a certain type of way that it's going to be hard for me to for let's say not me but most managers to change. I know for a fact that starting with a template is the safe option, right? Starting with a template, you get the points as everybody else. The points of game week 1 is 75. You also get maybe 73. You move there together, and then next thing you know, you start changing. That's the body way of playing.
True.
Without even consciously thinking about it, that's the way I'm thinking of starting the game right now. I don't know. It's just okay. Let's go. This is how to do it now. But the way you're doing things is totally different, and it's like high risk, high reward, right?
Mm-hmm.
I know for a fact that if Son wasn't if the price wasn't an issue, he was going to be the third player in my team without even thinking about it. But because, like you said, everybody's thinking about the Haalands, the Kane, how do you switch to this? Whether your team is flexible enough to bring in some players that you need to bring in. And that's the way I'm looking at it. Even though I know for a fact that the game week 1, if you have all these midfielders, even KDB, if I had KDB in my team, right, instead of having all these expensive defenders and things, KDB, Son in your team, that's already a major differential if you have them in your team right now. Because most people don't have them, even though their ownership might be high, maybe one of those two teams, a few teams here and there, but everybody else doesn't have expensive midfielders apart from Salah. And a few 8 million players, midfielders right here and there. So that strategy that you're talking about, I think if it works, it works. 100%. It does because it worked for you. So obviously, if it's not broke, why fix it? So yeah, it works, man.
Yeah.
The problem is
it's hard. It is.
I
think the uncertainty that precedes that is the major concern for people, right? Like, if this backfires, then
Yeah, even
what do I do? What do I do to adjust my team? How
how
do
do
I
you go
adjust my
from
team?
there?
How do I plan my team?
Yeah,
I play the
yeah,
early wildcard. Then what do I have left? Can I manage
yeah,
my team from game week
yeah.
2 to game week 18 without needing a wildcard
Mm,
or needing
mm,
something?
mm,
So
mm,
that uncertainty there is why
mm.
people are not. Yeah, they would rather play it safe, gradually know what's going on. Yeah, but yeah,
So,
I'm gonna.
that's
Mhm.
yeah, going for it. Yeah, honestly, I don't think there's anything wrong with that because it's
Yeah.
worked for you once. It's going to work. It makes logical sense to me.
Mhm.
But for me, I have a few. I don't know. It's just maybe fears and things. So, but we'll see. We'll see. I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
well, most of the teams that I've seen so far are very template. Apart from 3 or 4 players that you can freestyle with whatever it's
yeah.
anybody's choice. Those 3 players in. Well, yeah. Um. So
And I
that's our
saw this
strategy.
before you go. I saw a poll from who was it? I think it's FPL Focal. Like,
Mm.
they have their this elite managers. They try to but they are top managers who are doing very well in FPL. He takes like their information in terms of who they're gonna captain, and then they make a poll. They send him their team, and then make a poll of who they were captaining. And surprisingly, not surprisingly, of course, because it's Salah, 80 something percent of the managers were captaining Salah, right? That was so worrying for me. And then you have about
I'm
11%.
telling you, man.
About
Yeah.
11% were on Kane. And I think just around 5 or 6% were on Son. Son and Haaland. No, Son. It was Son. Because it's these 3 players: Kane, Haaland, Kane, Son,
Henson and Salah.
and Salah. So Salah was 80 something percent.
Can you imagine
So
that?
Kane was 11%, and then you have Son.
This is
So,
what makes
so
them top managers, man.
yeah, it's what makes them top managers. But this
Yeah.
is why I'm saying it's opportunity for me. This is a huge opportunity for me, because at the end of the day, you want to compete against everybody, right? Because you are competing against 9 million people. Son, the reason, like I say, the reason people are not going to Son is because of Haaland. So that means Hunt is going to be lowly owned and lowly captain. But Son is a safe player. He's a very safe player to pick. Especially, don't forget against Southampton a couple of seasons ago, what he did was he scored 4 against them, right? If he does half of that, give you 2 goals. Okay. You don't want to be too predictive and try to predict what's going to be the outcome. But Son is a very, very safe player to have. So if you captain Son, you'll be very comfortable. Imagine Salah playing the 12 o'clock, 12:30 kickoff, and then
Yeah.
okay, he can do
Doesn't do
something.
well.
Do well, or maybe 1 goal or something. And then Son is gonna come in the next fixture. That is 3 o'clock fixture. Well, I'm very comfortable with Son, to be honest. I'm very, very comfortable with it. And
You're
if
giving me, yeah. You're
and
giving me
you're
things
talking
to
about,
think about right now.
yeah. So it's an opportunity.
Yeah.
This is the opportunity I see there, because nobody is gonna do that. So why not you try it? That is where I'm thinking. Yes, they say you cannot lose FPL. I know everybody have this mantra of you cannot lose FPL in the first game week. You cannot win FPL in the first game week.
You can.
But,
Yeah, you can.
but
You
you can
might fall behind. You might fall
but you can
behind. Yeah,
lose
you
it.
might. But
But
yeah, that's true.
but I think you can, like I say, FPL is a marathon, but you can start with a sprinter of 100-meter sprinter. Yeah, you understand? So because even marathon people, what they start is they joke and then they stay
Set the
with the
pace,
pack.
yeah.
That is the template. They stay with the pack.
That's
But what I'm
the
saying is,
template.
the first 100-meter, you can you can have a good
Yeah.
sprint. Give your last,
Yeah.
and then you can recover. This is the way I'm thinking.
Interesting, man.
Anyways.
You give me some things to think about. Honestly. Yeah. So I think finally we'll talk about our teams, the final draft. Man, I'm sure it's not the final draft, final. Yeah, there's gonna be more changes, but then this is how far we have come so far. Before the deadline, let's see what our latest drafts show. Let's go with you. Let's go with your team first.
Yeah. Not much has changed in my team, but you will see something surprise here. You see my goalkeepers, my 4 million goalkeepers. Iverson and Ward from Leicester City. Kasper Schmeichel is out, so they have two
Yeah,
4 million goalkeepers. Unless they sign a new goalkeeper, one of these 2 goalkeepers will start. 4 million goalkeepers. So if because I'm not playing a long time game, I'm ready to do my wild card. So
You're trying to
if
maximize,
Maxima,
somewhere else.
exactly. So if you can get that 0.5 from these two goalkeepers, of course, if they sign a goalkeeper tomorrow, I will rethink and then adjust the team again. So those two are out, and Cancelo is out of my team for now, which is very very like I cannot.
Worrying.
It's very worrying. You understand? We talk about that one. Cancelo is out of my.
Yeah.
He's out of my team, but I am back in West Ham to cause Manchester City a trouble. I can see them scoring at least. I can see West Ham scoring because they play at home. They play at the London Stadium. They are a difficult team to play against. We all know that. Liverpool lost their last season. Man City drew there against them last season. I think Chelsea struggled there. Almost all the big teams, they struggle against West Ham. It's never an easy game playing West Ham. Antonio will cause you a lot of trouble. Bowen will cause you a lot of trouble. So I can see Man City conceding a goal, considering now that they don't have Laporte. And, their defense is not as stable as it used to be. So I'm backing them to score. So if they're going to concede, the only way Cancelo can hurt me is by scoring or creating a chance. And that, unless he do more than one, unless he return more than one, it will not be massive. It's not going to be massive. So I see, okay, I can do with with a 5 million. Even though I have Ake in my team, I want Manchester City to drop points, right? Because like the way people play FPL, it's so funny, right? I know everybody who own Cancelo. So the fact that I am the only way I'm fighting against Cancelo is Ake, it means I don't mind if Manchester City, if Ake give me 2 points and Cancelo give 2 points, I will take that because I will know I spent 5 million and those managers spent 7 million. This is just So anyway, I think Ake can cover him. I personally think for this particular fixture only, that is the West Ham fixture, I think, because I can see West Ham scoring. So yeah, I downgrade there. In defense, I have Trent and Robo, and I have Neco Williams. Neco Williams, I'm not happy starting, but I don't have a choice considering the team I put. In midfield, I have Salah, Son. Son is gonna be my captain. Martinelli and Bailey in midfield, and up top I have Kane and Jesus. So Jesus was causing me trouble. I know I'm not huge on effective ownership, but because of it's not just about the effective ownership. I know he's 73% owned, but he's scoring for fun. Hat tricks here and there, 2 goals here and there. He is doing it. So from what I'm seeing from him, like he's a player you need to have in your team, regardless of how many managers own him. So this is the team I go with. What is your take on my team? Before we go to your team.
I like the Son, man. I like the Son aspect of your team, like because we all know Son is a big asset. It's surprising to us that for the past 2 or 3, 4 seasons, he's been doing well and he's been undervalued. Now he's where he's supposed to be. His value is maybe spot on, and it's difficult for us to fit him into our teams if you have like a premium, like 3 premiums. It's difficult because obviously, for me, I prioritize having a striker because the easy switch, like we've been saying all episode. But then I like the Son aspect of it. Robertson too is also interesting, but the only thing I have to say is that I like to spread my defense because one game can probably change the points of 2 players in your defense. That is the only thing that I have to say right there. But so solid team, man, is very different. Is a differential team, and that's the whole point. If you want to get a good start, you don't have to be template. Yeah.
I agree on the Robertson one, and I am kind of because Liverpool too are unsettled in the back. Yes, they consider one against Manchester City, but Alisson is just coming back from injury. Last game it was it was what is his name again? I don't even know his name. What's his name? The Liverpool goalkeeper, the Spanish guy. Adrian. Yeah, he's a big. Adrian is, he's very hard to. He's very hard to support. But yeah, of course we will try. But he did well in the Man City game. He made some solid saves in the game. He did really well. It's just unfortunate the goal he considered. But yeah, because Alisson is coming back from injury. How fit is he gonna be? He's not gonna be sharp. And all when you have these 2 defense, you have to think about all those kind of things. But again, Liverpool, these 2 Liverpool fullbacks, Trent and Robertson. They are not there just for keeping the clean sheets. We know what they do going forward. Even in the game against Manchester City, Trent got a goal, Robertson got an assist. That is what we expect from them. A lot of attacking return, a lot of, And yeah, when it comes to comparing Robertson and Cancelo, I I kind of prefer Robertson in terms of FPL, to be honest. So that's why I did not go with Cancelo, even though it
I
would have
think
been
it's
better
good.
to have Cancelo and Trent. But yeah, maybe a bit of bias there for me. But I prefer Robertson over Cancelo. So I hope Ake
Yeah.
can cover Cancelo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a solid team, man. Solid differential team from what we have been seeing in the community. So let's go to my team, which is very templatey. So if you want to know or have an idea what everybody else is going with, this is it. Yeah, so I just want to be in the pack. Let's all start together. And, one day with us jogging around, setting the pace. That's I think it's been working well for me, and I think I'm gonna stick with it. Maybe next season I might have more of a bold, to start the differential. But I think that this season is going to be things are in the first half things are going to be back to normal, because the past few seasons we've had multiple double game weeks here and there, cancellations. So this time things are going to slow down, and then we will have a more realistic FPL first half of the season. That's the only thing. So um, I'm playing a 4-4-2. Mendy. I think you convinced me about Mendy because I don't like having expensive keepers in my team. But he's a good player, and I think he's cheap this season. To be honest, I think he's cheap for his price. So I just had to put him in. Mendy, I have Trent, I have Cancelo, I have Gabriel. Gabriel is a very good option. I think it's very surprising stat. I didn't know this before, that he had more goals than Rashford last season. I was very surprised about it. I was even
He was the highest.
that no, that's not possible.
Yeah, highest scoring defender in the game last season. Highest scoring. Like he scored more goals than any centre back or full back in football in the Premier League last season.
That's crazy, man. That's just crazy. I can't even imagine that. So yeah, Gabriel is there, and then I have James. James, I'm really contemplating, because Chelsea, I'm not really convinced about the way they play. But James is James, man. He's a good player. But I think I'm a bit too heavy at the back. I might change James to somebody cheaper and invest the money in midfield. I just don't know whether this is going to be it. Might leave the team this way, or change it a bit more, remove James, put somebody else, and put the money in midfield. But so far, it's like Trent, Cancelo, Gabriel, James. Very solid defense. Yeah. Midfield, I have Salah, I have Bailey, who's been very good in preseason. I have Rashford, who I'm still not convinced with having in my team, but we'll see what happens. And then Luis Diaz. Diaz, I think, is going to have a big season this time around. So up top, I have the usual. I have Kane, who my boss captain is on, and then I have Gabriel Jesus. So yeah, template, very template. Any thoughts?
Yeah, I think it's very template. I think the only player who's not so template here is Gabriel. I think he's the only player with low, or kind of not so low, maybe. I don't know his ownership at the moment, but it's not so high. But otherwise, I think the rest of your team are very template. I think all of them at least will be 10% or more owned. I would like to think so. Yeah. So it's very template. I think it's a good way to play. To be honest, it's a good way to play. This is the experts way to play. This is the FPL, like, how do they call them? The premium.
The casuals.
No, not the casuals. I mean the real FPL players. The real ones, right? The gurus, not my types, right? Not these crazy types. I mean, those ones who are making the contents out there. Those the top ones.
The career FPL players.
Yeah, this is their game. So I cannot say much about it. But it's not just how I want to start. But I 100% see why this is the way to play. This one you will never go wrong. It's either everybody do this, or me, I can go left field or right field, right? That is the difference.
Yeah, so this is it, man. This is I'm tempted to change my captaincy to Salah, based on what I've said before. Yeah. But yeah, this is as good as it gets for me. I might have a few changes here, maybe upgrade Rashford, downgrade James. But yeah, let's see how it goes. Yeah, I might even change to a 3-5-2 instead too. So
yeah,
maximize the midfield. But yeah, that is it for this pod. Anything else we forgot to discuss or you want to mention before we end the pod?
Just like to call on our viewers maybe to help the channel by subscribing to the Jollof Football Bantaba YouTube channel, and then maybe like the video, share it if you can, and that will be very much appreciated. So yeah, we are back on again. Go to Classic FPL Podcast Game Week 1 preview. Hopefully, may your arrows be green. Yeah, let's start with green. Actually, there is no arrows in the Game Week 1, right?
There's no green, right? It's gonna be just one. That's the first one. So that's from here on, then you have your
So good luck to everyone, to every FPL manager. Have a strong start like last season. I think last season 100 points we are flying left, right, and center in Game Week 1. So hopefully we can start like that again. Good luck to you guys.
Yeah, so as you all know, like same here likewise. Good luck to everyone, and let's have fun this season. Even though it's gonna be a bit challenging, but yeah, let's make it fun. Each season is different. Let this one be a different fun season.
Definitely.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thanks for always tuning in, and catch you guys on the next one.